honey, this is the ceiling.
You need to
for
find
you.
your dentist. How do you take your goddamn braces off, but you kept the little middle part? Stupid girl.
Azealia Banks just set the internet on fire, claiming DC Young Fly had something to do with the tragic passing of his partner, Ms. Jacky Oh. And let's be real, the way she's throwing shade shows that her beef with DC is nowhere close to being buried. The tea she's trying to serve is beyond messy. It's downright explosive. Everyone already knows Azealia thrives on drama, but this could be one of the wildest moves she's pulled in years. So here's the question that's making people pause. Did DC actually pressure Jacky Oh into surgery, or is Azealia stirring fake drama just to get her revenge? 2 whole years have gone by since Jacky's heartbreaking death, so why is Azealia suddenly bringing it all back up now? If she really had solid receipts, wouldn't she have dropped them when the tragedy first hit? But no, Azealia is known for holding grudges like trophies, waiting until the timing is perfect to cause maximum chaos. That's her trademark style, and she's clearly sticking to it. And don't forget, this isn't the first time she's taken aim at Jacky's memory. Hours after Jacky's passing, Azealia jumped on Instagram with disturbing, cold-hearted posts. She claimed Jacky's death was karma, because DC once cracked jokes about her during an episode of Wild 'N Out. She made it sound like his jokes cut deep, and in her words, he somehow deserved the pain that followed. That kind of talk shook people to the core. And now she's back again, pushing the same story even louder, even messier, and even harder to ignore. Just hours after Jacky Oh's passing, Azealia Banks went online and dropped some of the nastiest posts people had ever seen. Instead of showing respect, she twisted the tragedy into her own personal grudge, claiming Jacky's death was karma because DC Young Fly once mocked her on Wild 'N Out. She acted like his jokes weren't just comedy, but a reflection of some deep hatred he carried inside. In her rant, she accused DC of spending years disguising his own deeply rooted hatred of himself as jokes pointed at women's beauty, and said he projected his own insecurities onto confident women. Then she went on about her tears back then, claiming, "Say what you want about my tears. They were pure tears of rage and not at all a sign of weakness, because in the end, I won." She even said she was glad she cried, saying it helped her move on, before throwing shade at Jacky Oh, calling her deeply insecure. Imagine talking down on someone who just passed. That's beyond cold. And of course, Azealia being Azealia, she didn't stop there. She linked that years-old Wild 'N Out jab straight to Jacky's death, claiming DC's joke from 5 years ago was the real reason Jacky is no longer here. That's a wild leap, but she made it sound dead serious. Then she dropped an even darker twist. She pointed out the irony of Jacky passing at age 32 on Azealia's own 32nd birthday, May 31st, 2023 in Miami. She flat out warned, "You guys are going to learn to stop messing with me." And if you followed Azealia long enough, you know she's often bragged about being a witch, talking about spells, rituals, and putting out all kinds of dark energy. So when Azealia said all that, it wasn't just about being petty. It sounded like she was hinting that she had some kind of hand in what happened. In her world, Jacky's passing lining up with her own 32nd birthday wasn't a sad coincidence, it was some kind of twisted cosmic payback. That's how deep she took it. To really understand this, we gotta rewind back to 2018 when Azealia showed up on Wild 'N Out. During her episode, she struggled to keep up and joined a segment called So Petty. And if you know that game, you know it's brutal. It's all about roasting, throwing shots, and aiming straight for the jugular. Everybody's a target and nobody gets spared, not even the big names. Now, DC Young Fly was supposed to roast Nick Cannon, but instead of keeping the heat on Nick, he flipped it around and went straight at Azealia. And here's the thing.
My boy Nick Cannon is so petty.
How petty is he?
He couldn't get Carter B, so he got Azealia.
That's totally normal for Wild 'N Out. The roasts fly in every direction, even at your own teammates, so it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. But Azealia didn't see it that way. She tried to clap back right then and there, but in the clip, you can see DC wasn't backing down.
But you have to enjoy your lap around the theater because you're not going to be booking any other work in any time. Enjoy Wild 'N Out. You won't even make it to Dub Comedy Jam, honey.
He hit her with another shot, and honestly, he ate her up on that stage. The crowd was laughing, the energy was high, and Azealia was clearly not ready for that kind of heat. Azealia was so salty over that wild and out moment that she carried the grudge for 5 whole years. Imagine crying over a roast on stage and then holding on to that pain so tightly that when DC's partner Jacky Oh tragically passed, she actually celebrated it online. That's exactly what she did, and the internet lit her up for it. Fans dragged her left and right, calling her out with comments like, "Azealia Banks is sick, speaking on somebody's deceased partner just because you got your feelings hurt on a stage show years ago is beyond low." Another person said, "She proved why nobody messes with her." That is vile and evil. How can you rejoice in someone's death just because their partner made jokes at your expense? People didn't hold back. They called her disgusting, evil, and even the scum of the earth. The consensus was clear. Azealia couldn't take a joke, so she held on to a childish grudge until tragedy gave her a twisted chance to clap back. But of course, Azealia tried to defend herself in typical dramatic fashion. She claimed, "I don't think anyone gets how much the press from that episode derailed the success of Anna Wintour. I came to sing my song and go home, and only at the request of my label. That thorn in my sight is finally out." She wasn't done there either. She went on a rant about her own talent, saying she was too gifted, too beautiful, and too special to be used as a cultural punching bag by, in her words, a cast of peons who wouldn't even have a pot to piss in without social media addicts hyping them up. And just when people thought her rant couldn't get any crazier, she went even further. She straight up blamed DC's clowning on Wild and Out for the failure of her single, Anna Wintour. In her mind, that one joke didn't just bruise her ego, it supposedly ruined her entire rollout and derailed her music career. The leap she made from a roast to her career struggles had everybody shaking their heads. Fans weren't buying Azealia's excuse at all. Most people said maybe the song just wasn't hitting. The truth is, her single didn't flop because of a one-liner from DC. It flopped because nobody cared enough to stream it. By then, the public was way more invested in her drama than in her music. And that's been the story of Azealia's career for years. She's built such a strong reputation for being messy, picking fights, and starting chaos that her music keeps taking a backseat to her scandals. That bully image hasn't just made her unpopular, it's been dragging her career down for over a decade. But instead of owning that, she tried to point the finger at DC, as if one roast on TV destroyed her big shot at a hit record. In her mind, he was the reason her song tanked, and honestly, that's a bold accusation. But things only got darker from there. Fast forward 2 years after Jacky Oh's passing, and Azealia popped back up with even nastier claims. Comments so disturbing that people are saying DC might not be able to stay quiet this time. She pulled out new tea that left fans stunned. If you know the backstory, Jacky tragically passed away following a mommy makeover procedure. But now, Azealia is claiming the surgery wasn't Jacky's choice at all. According to her, DC allegedly pressured Jacky into going under the knife because he wouldn't stop criticizing her body after pregnancy. And she didn't just stop at saying it, she swore she had receipts. Azealia pointed to one video where DC made comments about Jacky's body after she gave birth to their kids. In the clip, Jacky asked if he liked the way her body looked now, and instead of reassuring her, he dodged the question and even joked that certain parts of her looked weird.
Used to look like 6th grade
Really?
pizza. It used to look like middle school pizza. Middle school cafeteria pizza.
That moment in Azealia's narrative was proof that he was making her insecure enough to go through with surgery.
So you like them still though?
Huh?
Did you like them still?
My phone ringing. My phone ringing.
The way she's spinning it, she's not just dragging DC's name into the mud. She's accusing him of being at the root of Jacky's tragic choice. What makes this even sadder is that Jacky Oh herself admitted some of her friends had warned her not to go through with the surgery, but she ignored their advice.
I want to get my breasts done. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody told me, no, you're fine how you are. You're perfect. Leave me alone. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's my body. Guess what? My body. So I was like, oh, I want to do it.
And according to Azealia, the reason Jacky didn't listen wasn't just personal choice, it was pressure. She's claiming DC was allegedly pushing her to change her body because he wasn't attracted to her anymore after the baby. Azealia even hinted that DC was allegedly threatening to cheat if Jacky didn't fix her body. And in her version of the story, that was the final straw that pushed Jacky into surgery despite all the red flags. That's a dark picture to paint, and it only makes the tragedy feel heavier. Because if true, it could have been avoided. After Jacky's passing, the public didn't just question DC, they also turned their eyes toward the doctor, Dr. Jacky Oh, the Miami surgeon who performed the procedure. Suddenly, his name was everywhere, and messy details started surfacing that made the whole thing look shady. It came out that this wasn't just a typical surgery. Jacky and Dr. Jacky were actually supposed to be collaborating. The deal was that she would get the mommy makeover for free in exchange for promoting him on her social media pages. Jacky herself even posted about it before going under, writing, "Getting ready for my mommy makeover with Dr. Jacky." Stay tuned to my YouTube for the full reveal. She was planning to share the whole process with her fans, but tragically, things went sideways. Instead of a reveal, the surgery ended her life, and soon after, all eyes locked on Dr. Jacky. And the deeper people dug, the worse it got. Red flags about his practice kept popping up, and his reputation took a massive hit almost overnight. One of the first red flags people spotted was that Dr. Jacky wasn't actually board certified. He was only board eligible, which basically means he had finished his residency but hadn't passed the official board exam yet, either because he hadn't taken it or he failed it. For many people, that raised serious doubts about whether he was fully qualified to be performing high-risk cosmetic procedures like mommy makeovers. Things got even shadier when Dr. Jacky suddenly deleted the collaborative Instagram post he had shared with Jacky before the surgery. That was the same post where she told fans she was about to get her makeover done with him. The timing was suspicious, and of course, it made people wonder if he was trying to cover something up. From there, rumors spread like wildfire across social media, with everyone speculating about what really went down. And then the whole situation exploded when police officially announced they were opening an investigation into the case. What started as a tragedy instantly turned into a headline-grabbing scandal that had everyone watching closely.
Police tell us they and the medical examiner's office are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death, and the case is in its preliminary stages.
Eventually, the case was dropped since investigators couldn't find enough to move it forward. But even after that, the cloud of suspicion never really went away. Dr. Jacky tried to save face by releasing a public statement on social media, bragging about the quality of his facilities and trying to paint his practice as safe and professional. But by then, his reputation had already taken a major hit, and a lot of people weren't buying his cleanup attempt. Dr. Jacky tried to bounce back by releasing a polished statement, bragging that his clinic was clean and world-class. He told his past, present, and future clients, PH1 Miami remains devoted to the highest quality medical care. All aesthetic procedures are performed in a hygienically safe environment to universally recognized medical standards. I am relentlessly committed to advancing techniques in the realm of plastic surgery. He doubled down, adding, "Most importantly, my staff and I ensure that each patient is vetted, prepped, and treated according to their individual patient history prior to any surgery. Our mission is to help our patients achieve the best possible results in the safest and most medically appropriate way possible." But here's the thing. Nobody was fully buying it. Because while he was painting a picture of a spotless, safe clinic, disturbing reports about Jacky Oh's final moments started coming out. According to insiders, her passing wasn't peaceful, it was painful. And Azealia jumped right back in, claiming the whole thing wasn't just on Dr. Jacky, it was on DC too. TMZ later reported that Jacky had flown into Miami specifically for the mommy makeover, and the procedure happened on May 30th. At first, everything seemed routine. She was prescribed the usual post-op care: antibiotics to prevent infection, oxycodone to manage pain, and anti-nausea meds to keep her comfortable. On paper, it looked like a standard recovery plan. But clearly something went horribly wrong, and the tragedy spiraled into one of the messiest, most talked about scandals in recent memory. Now, I'm no doctor, but from what I know, the medications Jacky was prescribed after surgery were pretty standard. But the very next day, May 31st, things started going downhill fast. Insiders revealed that Jacky complained of a severe headache, so she went back to the hospital for a post-op checkup. During that visit, doctors reportedly told her to stop taking the anti-nausea meds and switch to ibuprofen instead. On the surface, it seemed like a minor adjustment, nothing to worry about. But in reality, that change turned out to be a critical moment in the chain of events that followed. By that same evening, Jacky's condition got drastically worse. She told family members that her head felt like it was burning, and soon after, she started struggling to speak. Jacky was with her aunt at the time, who quickly called 911, But before help arrived, Jacky went unresponsive. She was rushed to the hospital, but tragically, she was pronounced dead at 11 p.m. on her 32nd birthday. This was a heartbreaking, devastating situation, but Azealia isn't treating it with respect at all. Instead, the word on the street is that she's calling for the police to reopen the case not as a medical tragedy, but as a murder investigation. And in her version of events, DC Young Fly is suspect number 1. According to her, his alleged pressure on Jacky to undergo the mommy makeover was the direct reason she passed away. And knowing how far Azealia is willing to take things, you already know this won't be the last we hear from her. If anything, the drama is only going to get messier from here. But I want to know what you think. Do you believe Azealia's claims, or is she crossing the line into pure cruelty? Will DC finally speak up to shut her down? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.